I'm Chris Verdugo, the Executive Director of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. And with me here today is Dr. Tim Seelig, our Artistic Director. And of course, someone who needs no introduction. We've coined the phrase mom to the chorus. But I think many of us in San Francisco would resoundingly say we believe she is the top mayor in this country because she has kept us safe and protected from the very, very beginning. Mayor London Breed, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you for your time, because we know that right now your time it's always precious, but even more so now as the country is looking to you as one of the most courageous mayors in the country, if not the most. And we are here. We're here where we are in San Francisco because of you in the COVID-19 crisis. So, but you have such a passion for the arts and for arts education. Where did that begin? What was the moment? What was that?
It might have something to do with just my family in general, because we were, as children, forced to always perform in front of adults. They would we would dress up in my grandmother's clothes and her wigs, and we would just go to town. And it was always fun. And at one point, I really thought I was a good singer. I actually sang in the choir at church. And I wasn't really a great singer, but as a kid, you're always so cute, so it doesn't even matter. But I've always loved to perform. I always loved to watch performers and singers and music and theater. It's just something that really was a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And we were always, as kids, we had to be creative. So we would try to make our own costumes or do our own thing and figure out ways to act out a play. And I'm sure you guys remember when Michael Jackson Thriller came out. You couldn't tell us we weren't Michael Jackson and how we were trying to do all the moves, because at that time you couldn't always see the video over and over again, but every little thing we could figure out, we would try to figure it out and, imitate it. And so it's just always been a way to really escape, but also something that I've always enjoyed. And it just has stuck with me. And to just have the opportunity to run the African American Art and Culture Complex when I was the director there, I performed there as a kid. I was active in that organization as a kid, where we would go and, even though we probably weren't the most talented, people still clapped for us and made us feel loved and appreciated and like we were important. And that's really what the stage had done for me. And that's watching other people bring their incredible creative beings to self and the sounds or the visuals. It's just something that I love, and it's just an important part of my life. It just makes me feel so good.
I love hearing that story. Boy, you spared no expense. Well, actually, you did this for really inexpensively. But it's so funny because when I talk to other people, they're like, "Yes, my parents put me up on the piano bench and had me perform." But you had the whole costumes, scenery, choreography that's taking a whole nother level. And as you know, at part of our own educational outreach, there's nothing like arts to teach amazing thing. When did you decide to make it a life passion?
Well, you mean arts or being on stage?
Yeah. Right. Well, no, you're on stage now. The arts.
Well, first of all, I sang in a choir, wasn't a great singer. I played French horn in band. I was a good player at the time, but my lips would always get swollen from playing the French horn. I just realized that I probably wasn't the most artistically talented person, but I also still enjoyed being on stage. So here we go. The fact is, when I was given an opportunity to be the director of the African American Art and Culture Complex, I was not necessarily trying to pursue that as a, career goal. It just fell into my lap, and it was really about going back into the community, working at a location where I had a great experience as a kid and being able to turn this organization around. And I fell in love with arts in a completely different way.
Right. As the presenter. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of it was, as a kid, you're performing, you're doing these things, you love it when someone else is performing. Like, that's just, always been a part of my nature and my community. But here, I was a grown-up and I had an opportunity to support other artists. I had an opportunity to provide opportunities for people who didn't have a space. And to write grants for people who needed funding in order to showcase their talents. And so it opened up a whole new world for me in the arts community. And it was a newfound respect for it, because as a kid, you don't get paid for it. And it's not your profession when you're not as talented. But when you're a choreographer like Robert Henry Johnson, like, that's all he should be doing, is choreographing moves, and we should be watching him all day dance and do these amazing things. And so it became something different for me. It became, a passion in a different way, where I wanted to support and celebrate artists. And it's why I make it clear, even when kids were coming to the African American Art and Culture Complex and they would perform, and they would put in all this work to do something for the community, I would pay our kids, because I wanted to show them appreciation and respect for their work. So I wanted them to learn early that if this is, a part of who you are, this is a passion, you want to nurture that passion, and it could lead to an incredible career opportunity, because the last thing we need is to not put that talent, when it's real, into the world.
Right. Well,
Bravo.
That is incredible. And please don't tell my singers that you paid all of the volunteers. Please don't tell.
I have a follow-up to that, and that is, so in your journey through the arts, how has that informed both your personal values and also how you lead as the mayor of our fine city?
I think it probably provides a bit more of a well-rounded perspective and a clear understanding. I mean, I'm not just a supporter of the arts because it's what you do as a mayor. I support it because I understand its value. And I go back to even when I played French horn in the band. Jack Martins was our teacher at Ben Franklin Middle School, and Ben Franklin Middle School was tough. And I had a few fights at Ben Franklin Middle School. I was a handful. And I remember when I first got to band, because everybody wanted to play in Jack Martin's band. And I wanted to play in the band too, but I was definitely a handful. And the first day, I was talking too much, I was misbehaving, and Mr. Martins made me write lines. And then we had a whole conversation about how I need to behave, otherwise I won't be in band. And I was like, after that, I totally changed everything. I was like, you know what? I got to get it together, because I don't want to lose this class. Mr. Martins was going to kick me out of the class if I didn't turn it around. Every student that was in band, and some of the toughest students, some of the most challenging students, when it came to their behavior and being able to stay in band, it made a difference. And so I think that is also important, because it does really change and could save lives. And it's really like, I just, when I think about even my childhood, again, I think about this guy named Aaron who played the trumpet, and you would just stop in your tracks to hear the sound of what he's playing, and how that changed his life in a neighborhood where all of us were experiencing the violence and all the challenges that we were all in that same boat. But some people were able to escape because of their artistic talents. When all you mostly hear about is football and basketball and sports, but there were a lot of other talented people, especially in the arts, where, again, I mentioned Robert Henry Johnson, incredible choreographer and playwright. Aaron Hamilton, who lived in the same neighborhood, who played trumpet, and just these incredible people. So I think what's so great about the arts and what it does is it opened the doors of opportunity for something that, you would probably never even think is possible in your life, because I know people who have had these same talents who have not had an opportunity to nurture them.
Right.
And
I think one of the things that people don't think about in arts education is that you decided to play the trumpet, and there is such discipline. I mean, the first day your teacher was like, you either get some discipline or you don't get to do this.
It was a French horn, Tim.
Right? But he needed a French horn player. But,
oh, you said Aaron. Aaron played the trumpet. I played the French horn.
Right. No, you played the French horn, and yeah. But the discipline, number one, but learning to get along with other people, to play in a band, yes, where you have to blend, then you have to listen, and you have to be a part, is such a life lesson that's not taught really on the sports field. It is sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
But certainly in arts education is so. It's just important.
It's so important.
It reaps a lot of rewards that people don't automatically give credit for.
Yes, for sure.
And thank you for sharing that life experience, because I think that paints a clearer picture, certainly for me, and I'm sure for a lot of folks who are going to watch this, that really explains your support. And your support, it's not just support. I mean, you show up, you stand behind, you as the mayor actually will, put your money where your mouth is and support these organizations. And hearing a little bit more about your personal experience, I think it paints a clear picture for us of why you support the National LGBTQ Center for the Arts the way that you do. And something we're incredibly appreciative of.
Yeah. Also, you're doing exactly what I was fortunate enough to do at the African American Art and Culture Complex. You're providing an opportunity for artists to have a space. And it is so critical that we support emerging artists, because where are they going to emerge from? Like how, or I think about this one young man who is so talented, like the dancer that he is, his body and how he moves, and the opportunity for him to have been on that whole Alvin Ailey level. That opportunity was not available. And I think that's why the space and being able to nurture your talent and to make sure that artists can grow and have that kind of place and that support is so critical. And you are doing that. You didn't just buy a building and say, okay, this is just for the Gay Men's Chorus. You said, no, there are others out there who need a space. And you did something absolutely incredible. And this is why I believe in what you're doing, and I support it wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim,
yes.
I think this is like the perfect point to maybe bring in our little announcement.
Okay. So Mayor Breed, we, first of all, 4 weeks ago, the reason you're here is 4 weeks ago, we realized that we're not going to be able to sing live for our audiences. And even the building, the people that are making art in the building are not able to come to the building and do what we're doing. So we launched SFGMC TV, which is our own channel. It's through our website, but it's also on YouTube, of new content. And we're putting out content. We're having interviews and all those kinds of things, and so that people can have fresh content. But we decided that considering where we're going now, we may not be able to gather 300 singers in a room. Is looking really not too great for the future, even in the fall. And so we have plans that if you and the folks allow us to have 50 people in a room come fall, we literally will have 6 choirs of 50 people that rehearse at different times through the week. Wow. So we're working around this. We have our plans, but one of our initial exciting parts of buying the building in our strategic plan was a broadcast center, or a studio where that large room that you've been in many times will be turned into a broadcast studio with state-of-the-art cameras, set up, sound, so that anyone can come in and perform and get that content out into the world. Wow. On YouTube or online or on Facebook. And so all of these organizations, none of them who could afford that kind of a studio setting for their art. It doesn't matter if it's a poet. It doesn't matter if it's a dancer. It doesn't matter what, but they are unable to get their content out. We're really blessed because we have a platform to do that. But hopefully by August, we will be launching something that might be called something like Studio Q, where people can come access this room that we will outfit, and basically they'll turn on cameras and they'll be ready to go. And
Wow.
we are so excited about doing this for the community. I mean, it's really not for us because we can't put that many people in there at one time. But smaller groups can certainly do that with safe physical distancing. So that's our little announcement for you that will be released when we
Nice.
release this interview.
That is amazing. Amazing. So
Thank
I
you.
can't wait.
Thank you. We wanted to, we recognize how blessed we are having this space. We really wanted to, there's only so much content that SFGMC can create. But as you know, we have resident companies now, the San Francisco Philharmonic, SFBACO, the San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company. And so we're able now to provide a space for them to come in if they so choose and, put together a small performance. We will have the capacity to live stream it as well as record it and then release it at a later date. So while we're not able to gather in the theaters that we have, have been accustomed to or have that idea of, we're able to gather in the theaters of our homes and experience art. And we're able to be a conduit for other arts organizations and artists in the city, to be able to get their art out into the world. So,
Well, we need it now more than ever. When you think about what we're dealing with, we are trying to keep people safe and healthy, but we also need to make sure that we are mindful of the need of our mental health, and music performance plays an important role in helping to sustain us. And so I really appreciate what you all are doing and what it will do, not just for the artists, but for the people who are able to see it and appreciate it.
We, Chris and I, and everyone, thanking you from the bottom of our heart for all you've done for us during this period, and all you've done for arts. As Chris said, it is so a part of who you are, and it is so authentic from your own self and your own nature to be a giver and a supporter. But the fact that you believe and understand what it is we do for underserved communities and opening our doors, the fact that you get it and support us is unbelievably gratifying and humbling for us to have your support. It's just beyond our imagination that you would take this time with us.
Well, just a little quick story. Batco, Rodney Jackson, who is the founder, I've known him since he was born. And he's from the neighborhood. His parents are friends that I grew up with. And first of all, he has two of the best parents in the world. Nice. And they do so much for the community. And to watch this little boy who was somewhat quiet when he was growing up become this incredible talent. He is an incredible performer, a singer, a dancer. He was in the Temptations. He played the Temptations in the play that was done for Motown. He was one of the singers in the Temptations, and I just almost cried. I was like, this is Rodney Jr. on the stage. And it's just, again, it just really, I'm so glad they're going to be at your location and you're going to be working with them. That's exactly why what you're doing is so important, is for young people like him who have this incredible talent. And I can't wait to see the work that many of these artists put in and what they produce as a result of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I know that we have to wrap up. I love real time. I get a little text. Let's wrap it up. So I would ask you, I just have one question. Actually, a request, a message that you have to our community. What can San Franciscans do to be good neighbors right now? We've been in this a while, but now we've got we have another 30 days. And so it's, what's your message to us?
My message is hang in there and be good to each other. and be good to other people when they're not good to you. Because this is a time where we need goodness more than anything else. And I know that, again, this is not just taking its toll on our physical health, it could be taking the toll on our mental health as well. We want to protect the public, but we also know that human interaction is important as well. And so I think just really reminding ourselves that we all are experiencing the same thing, where we are forced to stay home and forced to stay away from people who we love, our friends and our family members. We're all going through it. And there's nothing like music to really help to bring out the best in us. And I've seen all these choirs do all these things all over the world. And I can't wait to see the Gay Men's Chorus put together something similar, because I think it's one of the most incredible choirs anywhere. And I just want to hear those voices again. And let's just stay focused on the positive and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we will definitely get through this and emerge even stronger as a community and as a city. So let's do this.
Let's do it. Thank you so much. And hopefully the next time we see you in person, you'll be cutting the ribbon on our new broadcast facility. Let's just put that out there.
Put it in the air. Put it in the air.
Put it in the air.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Much love to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stay safe out there.